UFC 312 has just concluded, and that was a phenomenal last two fights of the card. The whole card, nothing really of substance happened. I was sat around just like, okay, can we get on with the co-main and main event? And that's the fights we're going to be breaking down today, folks. My predictions, I'm not even joking, that's a really good few predictions from myself. I literally predicted exactly how the fights would play out. Very happy with that. Look, let's talk about it. Zhang Weili beat Tatiana Suarez by decision, 3 rounds to 2, just as I said she would. I said Tatiana Suarez will come out. You know, the anticipation of the fight, the layoffs, the damage she's taken in her career. I said she's going to come out, she's going to look for that takedown early, she's going to have that strength in her arms early in the fight, and she did. She came out and within the first 15 seconds took Zhang Weili down. Zhang Weili, composed as ever, just sat there, stalled the round, defended, landed some good hammer fists, and got the wizard reversal on Suarez in the last 2 minutes of the round, and was in Suarez's guard, landing some very, very good shots from the top. And, you could have really given that round either way, but just down to the control time, Tatiana Suarez literally put no effort into throwing any ground and pound. She jumped the guillotine, which was in, until Weili popped out. She didn't quite have the grip on the rear right side with the hands. So Weili popped out. So you could give the first round to Suarez. The second round's a bit of a swing round. It could have gone either way. The judges gave it to Suarez as well. As I predicted, Suarez would realistically win the first two, but Weili would start bouncing around, landing her teep, landing her jab, just looking like the more complete fighter. She's, in my opinion, the most skilled female fighter there ever has been. And I know Joanna and Jacek, I know Rousey's ground game, I know all this, but a complete mixed martial artist. She's better than Rose, she's better than Valentina. And I know she's lost to Rose, got KO'd by Rose, that's fair, that's the game we play, that's what happens. Second fight was a blatant robbery in my opinion, could have been either way, maybe not a robbery, however. There's no argument that now, at this point in her career, she's the completed article. She's, in my opinion, was declining in skill in the performances. Against Yao, she didn't look fantastic, she didn't look very good. However, she came out tonight and just showed levels to this, and Tatiana Suarez was in deep on so many takedowns, had the ability to get the position for a trip and just could not do it. And I think not necessarily because of Weili, just Tatiana didn't have it in her to get the takedown. She wasn't skilled enough, she wasn't composed enough. She just didn't have the ability. Weili's so good, she's so strong, she's got such a good base, and that's what won her this fight. She's got such a good base, and she knows how to win. She knows the positional and weight balance. It's just fantastic. She's so good to watch. And after the first 2 rounds, I was like, oh, this is a good fight, this is close. And then Weili just took it away, butchering her legs, butchering her body, and just positionally outworking her and holding her and stalling her. And she had a lot more control time than Tatiana by the end of the 5 rounds. And the judge, judge was 4-1, one judge was 3-2, and the other one was 3-2. And it was a joy to watch, because I was happy watching it, because it was exactly how I thought it would go. It played out the way I knew it would play out. You have to remember the skill gap and the lack of composure these women that challenge for the titles have is so evident. The composure goes out the window. Tatiana Suarez is 10-0. That's not a lot of pro fights. She doesn't have the experience of the 5 rounds, and she looked good against Weili, but Weili just showed levels, and that's what I said she would do. She went out there, showed complete levels. Last 3 rounds were so dominant. Round 5, one judge gave it a 10-8. It was just fun. Like it was a fun display of dominance, and almost like, yeah, I'm above you. And Tatiana Suarez is tough. Weili could have done more, could have been more active, but obviously it's the threat of the takedown. And Suarez just wasn't good enough. She had the positions for takedowns so many times in their fight and did absolutely nothing with it. I was sat watching it, like, what are you doing? How could you not get that to the down ground? Patchy Mix in the corner team for Tatiana Suarez. Obviously, Patchy Mix was like, she's in on the leg, and then Weili would just stand up and get out of it. And you've seen the corner of Tatiana Suarez at one moment. I think it's the 5th round. It is the 5th round. He just puts his head in his hands and looks away, just like, fucking, like, what are you doing? And Patchy Mix, you can see his heart sort of like starts sinking into the ground, like, whoa, my God. And I said that would happen. I said in my prediction video, Tatiana Suarez is not him. Tatiana Suarez is not going to go out there and impose her will and be like, wow, she actually got it done. She's a 34-year-old lady who has gone through tough shit in her life, but that does not make her a better fighter. I hate that narrative. I hate the narrative of, oh, Tatiana Suarez has been through so much, like she's going to get this one done. No. If anything, the things she went to makes her much less inclined to be able to push for 5 rounds and be a dominant athlete. Like, it's just not how it works. I will say, though, fair play to her. She can definitely beat people in 3-rounders dominantly, 2 rounds to 1. I can see her winning the first 2 rounds of a lot of fights. She needs to work, no ground and pound effort, no viciousness, no nothing. Like a little puppy dog in there just in terms of skill. It wasn't impressive. It was a good fight though, which is a weird contrast. However, moving on to the main event of the evening, folks. UFC 312's main event. Dricus Du Plessis fought Sean Strickland and dominated him 4 rounds to 1. I had round 2 probably going to Strickland. Dricus got 1 takedown at the end of round 2, which could have given the judges the round. 5-0 Du Plessis. He figured out his defence. He was throwing punches down the way from above, getting over Strickland's guard. It was just phenomenal. It was just the snappy left body kick, the inside leg kick. He would finish something with a kick. He was stomping. He would finish the combinations with the kick. It was just, we haven't seen anyone ever in the UFC dismantle Strickland like that. We've seen Usman did it back in the welterweight days by just holding him against the cage. We've seen Cannonier did it just by showing the threat of the power, and Dricus did it on the feet tonight. He landed 1 takedown to secure the close round in the fight, which was round 2. It was a phenomenal display, and can I just say, Dricus Du Plessis is just good. Dricus is just fucking good. Dricus Du Plessis is just so good. And you can say it looks clumsy, but it works. It's fantastic. His kicks are on point. He game plans, I think, better than any fighter in the UFC right now. Ending combinations with the kick against Strickland, figuring out his defence, coming over the top and downward with the punches, jumping into punches almost. The spinning kicks, the high kicks, just figuring out his defence and giving Strickland more things to think about. And that comes down to just his cardio, his will to push. And he dominated Sean Strickland. And I was sat watching that fight, like, Strickland isn't looking himself. And then I was like, wait, he definitely is looking himself. He does this every fight. However, he just isn't in this fight. He just got nothing for him. He had some nice moments, some nice jabs, like as you should, some 1 or 2 shots at a time moments. But the majority of the rounds was Du Plessis just landing a body kick and landing like 10 head kicks during the fight. It was like 2 head kicks that landed per round, landed with the foot, landed with the toes. It was so good to watch. It was such a... It was almost like, wow, he's just figured him out. The game plan is perfect. Giving Sean so much to think about. And ending combinations with a kick, keeping him back, leg kicking him back. Dricus' style is fucking brilliant because he puts himself in the position to be KO'd. He takes risks to get a finish, and the risks he's taking against these fighters are throwing them off. He's like, well, what are you? It's almost like, what are you doing? But why is it working? And he is one of the. I'd say he's one of the best fighters in the UFC at the moment. And you can and he's not shit. Everyone's saying he's such a shit fighter. You don't throw kicks like that if you're shit. You don't game plan like that if you're shit. You don't push the pace on the number 1 middleweight in the world if you're shit. I think people need to start getting a grip and stop coping. I know people don't like him. I can't see why. He's so witty on the mic. His interviews are so wholesome and like just such a great listen. His fighting style is absolutely brilliant. His kicks are phenomenal. And his ability to mix it up is modern day MMA at its finest. And just because he's beaten Sean Strickland, is he? And he's beaten Strickland twice, dominated him in this fight, stopped Izzy, stopped Whitaker. It's just, it's incredible. It's fantastic. It's unparalleled what we've seen before. I want him versus Chimaev next. After watching that, I think he beats Chimaev. He'll game plan for him correctly. If he can keep the fight on the feet and burn Chimaev out, those body kicks are money. The jabs he throws are powerful. And he knows how to break down defence, and Chimaev is a very stand-up straight sort of fighter. He doesn't lean in, he doesn't throw snapping shots. It's one right hand at a time, and I think he beats Chimaev. I think he beats Imavov, and you have to remember, Strickland beat Imavov. Strickland is still top 3 in the world. You just need to be able to push the pace on him and give him loads of things to think about. In round 4, Dricus broke his nose really badly. The nose was out to the side. You've seen Strickland pop it back into place in between rounds. It was fantastic, and Dricus said after the fight, like, he doesn't want to make decisions a habit. He's now the number 3 pound for pound fighter in the world, and Strickland said, "Look, the Dutchman beat my ass for 5 rounds. He's wholesome about it. He bowed to Du Plessis. He said, well done, and what a fantastic evening. What a fantastic night of fights, and that's why I love the sport more than anything." Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. That's my little breakdown. It was fantastic. It was a shit card. The whole card was bad. Tapuria's brother won, got a few takedowns in there, and just was one shot at a time, like clipping him. But as a card, I don't want to see a pay-per-view like that again. We've got Pereira's pay-per-view next. We've got Dan Hooker Gaethje, some fantastic fights. Obviously, I'll be covering them for yourselves. And yeah, thanks for watching, folks. Have a great day. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm shocked, but Du Plessis looked like a fantastic. He's getting better. He gets better every fight. He's so good.